This presentation explores the medico-legal implications of medical injuries and deaths, how courts assess physician conduct, what standards apply, and how legal liability is determined. We'll integrate Philippine jurisprudence, practical defense measures, and ethical responsibilities relevant to both clinicians and lawyers. A medical injury covers any patient harm arising from diagnosis or treatment, whether from error, omission, or unavoidable complication. Depending on circumstances, it may result in criminal, civil, or administrative responsibility. Understanding this classification allows both legal and medical professionals to frame issues correctly from the start. Medical negligence law in the Philippines operates under several layers. The Civil Code covers quasi-delict and vicarious liability. The Penal Code punishes reckless imprudence, while the Medical Act and PRC Code of Ethics handle professional discipline. Together, this ensure accountability both in the courtroom and within the medical profession. Medical negligence differs from ordinary negligence because courts depend on medical experts to interpret complex facts. Doctors are judged by scientific standards, not by lay expectations. Moreover, hospitals may share liability for failing to supervise or provide safe systems, as clarified in Professional Services versus Court of Appeals. Every malpractice claim must prove these four pillars: that a physician owed a duty, breached that duty, caused an injury, and that the injury was a direct result of the breach. Missing any of these elements means no liability. These serve as the backbone of both prosecution and defense strategy. Duty arises the moment a doctor begins diagnosis or treatment, even if the encounter was brief or informal. Once a physician intervenes, the law assumes a professional relationship exists, creating an obligation to act with due care and competence consistent with accepted medical standards. The duty of care does not end until the physician properly discharges the patient, transfer care to another competent doctor, or obtains informed refusal. Abandonment, stopping care without notice or proper handoff, constitutes negligence because it breaks the continuity of medical responsibility. Courts rely heavily on written and electronic records to confirm both the existence of duty and the appropriateness of care. Admission notes, consent forms, and referral letters are vital. In today's environment, electronic health records with timestamp and audit trails serve as the best evidence of diligence. Even without formal admission, a doctor's duty arises upon rendering aid in an emergency. Under Republic Act 10932 and 8344, hospitals and physicians must provide basic emergency treatment. Refusal is both a criminal and administrative offense. The duty continues until the patient is stabilized and safely transferred. Many malpractice cases arise from poor communication during transfer. Outgoing doctors must ensure a complete, timely handoff through proper documentation. Missing or vague referrals imply negligence. A well-written referral letter and discharge summary demonstrate diligence and continuity of care. Informed consent isn't just a formality, it's a legal and ethical duty. A detailed signed consent form showing discussion of risk, benefits, and alternatives is strong proof that the physician acted responsibly. Conversely, missing or inadequate consent forms are often treated as evidence of breach or ethical lapse. The standard of care is what an ordinary competent doctor in the same specialty would have done under similar conditions. It's measured by peer practice, not perfection. The law recognizes that reasonable competence, grounded in accepted medical guidelines at the time, defines professional diligence. A breach occurs when a doctor's conduct falls below accepted professional standard. This could mean failing to act, such as neglecting to monitor a patient or taking an improper action. Courts depend on expert witnesses to explain what a prudent doctor would have done and why the accused conduct deviated. No malpractice claim exists without injury. Plaintiffs must show concrete harm, physical complications, emotional trauma, or financial loss linked to the alleged negligence. Even if the physician erred, absence of injury bars recovery. Documentation of injury and its impact is essential to any claim. Causation is often the toughest element. The plaintiff must show that the physician's act probably caused the injury, not just coincidentally. Experts must explain the physiological connection between breach and harm. Competing causes such as underlying illness must be ruled out. These doctrines define how liability is distributed. Res ipsa loquitur lets negligence be inferred when the injury speaks for itself. Corporate negligence and ostensible agency hold physicians responsible for supervision and representation. Borrowed servant assigns liability to whoever controls the act, while contributory negligence can reduce patient recovery, while informed consent protects compliant physicians. Expert witnesses are indispensable. They explain what the standard of care required and how the physician deviated. The best experts share the same specialty, are in active practice, and base their opinions on authenticated records. Their clarity often decides the case's outcome. Good documentation is the best defense. Every encounter, order, and action should be recorded promptly. In emergencies, note arrival time, vitals, and interventions. Electronic systems with timestamps verify sequence of care. Hospitals should ensure that all attending doctors are credentialed and privileged, proving institutional diligence. Recent rulings refine existing doctrines. De Jesus versus Uloan clarified that malpractice suits are quasi-delictual. Quezon City Eye Center versus PHIC limited hospital liability when physicians are independent contractors. Ke versus PHC reaffirmed that well-documented consent and adherence to standard care protect doctors from liability. Criminal negligence requires proof of inexcusable lack of precaution given one's skill and the situation. Reckless imprudence under Article 365 of the Penal Code punishes conduct showing disregard for risk. Compliance with hospital and DOH protocols demonstrates prudence and is often a complete defense. Civil liability may arise from contract or tort. Hospitals can be held vicariously liable for their staff's negligence or directly liable for system failures under corporate negligence. Professional Services versus CA remains the landmark case, underscoring that hospitals must supervise and maintain competent personnel. Even if cleared in court, physicians can still face PRC administrative discipline for unethical or incompetent conduct. These proceedings are preventive, protecting public trust in the profession. Sanctions range from reprimand to revocation of license. Patient information is sensitive personal data under the Data Privacy Act. Disclosure requires consent, court order, or lawful basis. DOH Administrative Order 2020-30 sets hospital compliance standards. Confidentiality continues even after a patient's death, and breaches carry legal and professional sanctions. Preventing malpractice begins with diligence. Record all care contemporaneously. Explain procedures. Obtain valid consent. And stay within your competence. Follow hospital and specialty guidelines. Ethical conduct and clear communication remain the best legal protection. In the end, what saves a physician in court is what was written at the bedside. The law does not expect perfection, only reasonable competence and honesty. Meticulous documentation, professional ethics, and continuing education uphold both patient safety and the integrity of the medical profession.